Welcome back, man, to another episode of the Fourth Quarter Podcast. It's episode 27. You know me and my dog, Bud. We keeping it rolling. You know what I'm saying? The grind do not stop. Um, we now at 104 subscribers. Keep that number going up if y'all follow the podcast, man. And as y'all can see, we kind of shortened the episodes. We kind of did that because if you think about it, we know everybody busy. A little 30 minutes, 25 minutes, what I'm saying, of like what you want to hear, different opinions. I think that should be good for everybody, you know what I'm saying? So that's another reason why we kind of shortened it, but we're also not extending it, but we're going to go a little over with adding, football and NFL to the podcast, you know what I'm saying? So first off, Kenny, how you doing? You know what I'm saying?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to talk about Houston Rockets, how they've been doing, and Brooklyn Nets, how they've been doing.
Yeah, so he just said it. So today, on today's episode, we're gonna start off with Brooklyn. I know y'all tired of hearing this, but we got a good point to make. Then we gonna go over to what the Rockets did to OKC. It wasn't pretty. And then we're gonna touch on that heckler, you know what I'm saying, that LeBron had to deal with the other night. Oh, and I know that game was what, 3 days ago, 2 days ago. We just gonna touch on it, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, make a point. And then we're going to get in our first ever NFL topic and who we got for the Super Bowl. And Kenny got something that he want to share with the people that I think is blasphemous, but you know what I'm saying? But we're gonna get it started off. First off, like I said, Brooklyn. So I want to say that the Wizards beat Brooklyn the other night on a clutch three from Bill and Russell Westbrook. Um, I think they're, as far as like their offense, they are historically the best offense ever, but people fail to realize that they are statistically, historically, the worst defensive team ever as well. They lost to a team that only got what, 5 wins? Um,
Yeah,
it's
4 or 5 wins. The Wizards have 4 or 5 wins, and the Nets lost to them.
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I mean, yeah, Joe Harris made a mental mistake at the end of the game, which is what cost them. But to even let the Wizards be in that position, and I know they have two superstars. Well, I don't count Westbrook as a superstar; he's a star. But I know they have two superstars, but to even be in that position with the Washington Wizards, that just speaks volumes on how bad the Brooklyn defense really is, and is it going to come back to haunt them when it's crunch time?
It's gonna come back and haunt them. Like I said in the last podcast, I don't think the Nets are gonna win the championship. I don't think they're gonna get out of the East. I mean, I'm looking at the game, and when they lost to the Wizards, they lost to the Wizards 149. The Wizards had 149 points, and the Nets had 146 points. I mean, Westbrook gave you 41 points, unacceptable, gave you 10 rebounds and 8 assists. Bradley Beal gave you 37 points, 4 assists with 6 rebounds. It's just unacceptable. It's unacceptable. I mean, to be a championship contending team, the Nets, that's unacceptable. You should beat teams. Like, it shouldn't take overtime for you to beat a below average team. You lost to the Wizards, a below average team. The Nets, they're not even an average team. It's very simple. And the Nets lost to them. And I don't want to hear James Harden wasn't playing. I understand he wasn't playing. You still got Kevin Durant. You still
Still
got
got
Kyrie
Kyrie
Irving.
Irving.
Yeah, you still got DeAndre Jordan. You still got Joe Harris. You still got Jeff Green. So I don't want to hear that James Harden wasn't playing. It's unacceptable. If they don't improve their defense, they won't make the championship. And I've seen that they picked up Amon Shumpert, which I don't think that will help too much. I'm willing to see how. I'm excited to see which Amon Shumpert we get, because I mean, he's been out for a while. I mean, I don't know how he's going to come back, but I mean, once you bring him in, you're probably taking Joe Harris off. So you're losing some shooting, because Amon does not shoot better than Joe Harris. And if you think that, you're a damn fool. So I'm willing to see how that. I'm ready to see how that works out. But the Nets should not have lost that game to me.
Speaking on that, to just touch on it a little bit more before we move on, Joe Harris actually played pretty well offensively. He had 8 threes, and Kevin Durant gave you 37. I think Kyrie had 25, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but see, people look at that and it's like, oh, it's gonna be okay. Like, I mean, we all know what Kevin Durant can do. He's a walking 30 piece, even off an Achilles injury. I think he's literally averaging 30 points right now. So people are so amazed with the offense, but defense is a key factor, especially in today's league with everybody, you know what I'm saying, being so well rounded offensively, like especially your powerhouse teams, Clippers, Lakers, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So you have to play some defense. But that's all we want to say about that. We just wanted to touch on it again for those who still believe in Brooklyn. The numbers, you know what I'm saying? Men lie, women lie, but the numbers don't. The Brooklyn Nets are historically trash on defense right now. Like statistically, historically trash. But yeah, man. Moving on though. The Rockets slaughtered OKC the other night, hitting a franchise record in threes. Kenny, do you want to elaborate on that?
The Rockets hit 11 threes in the first quarter, which is awesome. I think John Wall hit 3 of them in the first quarter. What else we got? The Rockets. I'm very excited for the Rockets. They scored a total of 48 points in the first quarter. Let me repeat that. The Rockets scored over 48 points. No, they scored 48 points in the first quarter, excuse me. And at halftime, they had about 73 points in the first half against the Thunder, which this was yesterday. I'm very excited for the Rockets. They're going to make the playoffs. That's my prediction. They're going to make the playoffs. And depending on who they play, I think they can actually win a playoff game. I'm very excited about their team. I think they're being slept on. They just beat the Thunder by 30. You can look it up. They beat the Rockets 136 to 106 points. They beat them by 30. Like I said, John Wall hit 3 threes in the first quarter. DeMarcus Cousins is out there making threes. Eric Gordon scored 25 points, which is a lot for Eric Gordon. Eric Gordon, he's able to do that. I mean,
He's a buck.
he's a proven player. He's kind of like a Lou Williams and you know, kind of in a way, he's kind of like Lou Williams. And then you got Victor Oladipo. He's still getting back. He's still getting back. And Christian Woods is very underrated against the Thunder. He just got 18 points and he just got 11 rebounds. He's very underrated as well. And they still got Daniel House. He got 13 points, 4 rebounds. And I'm just very excited about this team. They have a very interesting team because they have a lot of players that we don't know what we're gonna get out of them necessarily. Like John Wall, he's still getting back into the groove. If he gets back to what he was in his prime, if DeMarcus Cousins gets back to what he was in his prime, I don't think he will. I don't think he'll ever be the best center in the league again. I don't think he'll get to that point ever. And if Victor Oladipo get to what he was in his prime, that's a big three. That's a massive big three. If John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, and Victor Oladipo, if they're all playing in their primes, that's a very scary team. And like I said, Christian Woods, don't sleep on him. Like I said, 18 points, 11 rebounds. So I'm not sleeping on this team. They have a very good team, and they're my sleeper pick. They're my sleeper pick out of the West.
You're gonna be sleeping for a long time. Let me interject here. They beat OKC by 30. That's good. They're playing decent ball, but I am not worried about the Rockets. Um, it's kind of like thanks, you know, like Christian Wood. They got a lot of promise with their young talent because, I mean, John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins are probably the oldest guys there. I don't know how old Eric Gordon is, but yeah, or Eric Gordon, great finisher, obviously can shoot the three well. Just a great gritty player. Like he gonna go in and get bucks and play defense. Christian Wood, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's a rookie. Or
No, he's not a rookie. He's not a rookie. He was just playing for Detroit last year. He's not a rookie.
oh wow, yeah, that's on me. But yeah, he can ball too. Um, so yeah, they do have a decent team, but I think it'll be like they'll make playoffs, but won't make any really big noise. I was actually rooting for DeMarcus Cousins for a while, but I think he finally went over that peak to where, like Kenny just said, he won't be back to being the best in the league ever again. But he gonna still like he gonna have some good games. John Wall, he's been out the league for like 10 years. So I don't know. I think he's just out there having fun, which is cool. But yeah, I don't see the Rockets making any noise. I'm not worried about them as a Lakers fan, as a fan of a team in the West. I'm not worried about them at all. But what they did was to OKC was pretty impressive, especially when you don't really have any names over there where you would say like, man, he can really shoot the three other than Eric Gordon. So that's pretty good from that team. But yeah, Kenny, you're gonna be asleep for a long time. That's your sleeper team.
Well, yeah, let me keep going about the Rockets, man. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. They just beat the Rockets by 30 points.
Okay.
And huh?
Oh, you meant OKC.
Yeah, I mean, excuse me. The Rockets beat OKC by 30 points yesterday. They're on a 6-game win streak. The Rockets on a 6-game win streak. They just beat the Thunder. They beat the Rockets by 14. They beat the Trailblazers by 3. They beat the Wizards by 19. They beat the goddamn Mavericks by almost 30. Goodness gracious. And they beat the Pistons by 1 point. So the Rockets on a 6-game win streak. And like I said, I'm looking at their roster and I'm just seeing a lot of players like PJ Tucker, he's a good defender. And Russell Westbrook, I mean, to me, John Wall's an upgrade. To
Me
me,
too.
John Wall's he's an upgrade. And I mean, I know he doesn't have the MVP and the triple double for the whole year like Westbrook, but I would rather have John Wall, and he's definitely the better shooter. So I'm just looking at that team, and other than the Lakers, I could see them beating just about any other team that'll make the playoffs. The Trailblazers, I think the Rockets could beat them. The Warriors, I think the Rockets could beat them. The Grizzlies are going to make the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs, and I could see them beating them. And I understand Utah; they're second in the West currently, but I'm still not sold on them.
I'm not either, but I don't know if they could beat them in this series.
I'm looking at the West right now, and I feel like the Rockets could beat any of these teams other than the Lakers, because we don't. By the end of
You
the year,
think they could beat the Clippers?
I mean, it's kind of like I don't know exactly what John Wall is gonna be, and I don't know what Victor Oladipo is gonna be. But if they get to 95% of what they were, I think so. I mean, we just seen them lose to the Nets last year, and if John Wall gets to 95% and Victor Oladipo gets to 95%, that's a pretty good team.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. And it was the Nuggets.
Yeah. Plus, some
Yeah,
people think the Clippers got worse. Some people got the Clippers. Some people think the Clippers are even worse from last year. Not to cut you off, so you know what I'm saying?
I'm one of those people. I mean, I know they have like the best record in the NBA right now or something like that. But I still don't believe in it. I do think they got worse.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna put some respect on their name. I mean, they got a champion over there, so I don't think Kawhi Leonard gonna go out like that. But then again, people probably saying they think he was gonna go out losing to the Nuggets, coming back down from 3-1. So who knows? But yeah, I mean, I think he gonna step it up this year. And Paul George has been playing well, but this is also regular season, so we'll have to see how he coming. Like when the playoffs and stuff start. But I mean, yes, it's definitely a toss up with the West. I think the Lakers are secure though. So
Oh yeah. I don't think nobody messing with them other than Philly.
yeah. But speaking on the Lakers, last night against the Hawks, who we beat by the way, um, LeBron was heckled by a woman in the crowd. How do you feel about that, bro? Because looking at the videos that I've seen, she lied. So apparently she was saying like LeBron said sit down B word and told her husband to sit down B word and B word this B word that, and then I guess Atlanta checked their tapes and uh they say all LeBron said was sit down steroid using as to the husband, and that was it, and she just started going crazy and she was kicked out. um Me personally, I don't have a problem with heckling. I mean, that I think that's what that's a part of being a fan, especially if you're able to go to a basketball game or any sporting event, as long as you're not being disrespectful. So with I know for a fact she called him a B word because she was saying it on her social medias. So I feel like when it gets to that point, I think that's when you do need to be escorted out, because I'm not a fan of being escorted out either, but don't disrespect me. You know what I'm saying? So if you calling me trash on the court, I can't do this, I can't shoot, blah, 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 that's all cool. That's, like I said, that's a part of heckling. But then when you start coming for me as a person, like I'm a B and you know what I'm saying, etc., then that's when I think that's when security needed to do what they had to do last night.
So that's confirmed. She did call LeBron the B word.
Yeah, you can still go on her IG story or to yeah, her IG story, and she says it like LeBron is a B.
Oh, even if she called him the B word, long as it's not the N word, um, I don't think she should have got escorted for the B word. From what I'm understanding is her husband was talking junk to LeBron, and then LeBron started talking junk back, and then she got into the argument to defend her husband. I mean, a B word doesn't bother me, and I don't think you should get ejected for the B word. I don't know if she got ejected for the B word or her language, or if she got escorted out of the game for not wearing a mask. I'm not sure which one it is, but from what she was saying, she was pretty much just defending her husband.
But think about what you said though. You said starting off, the husband said something first. How are you defending somebody that started something? You know what I'm saying? But and I agree with you a little bit. But like I said, once you come from me as a person, I think that's when you take things too far. And they probably kicked her out more or less because it's LeBron. Like I think if she was talking to Dennis Schroeder, she would probably she'd finish that damn game. But since it was LeBron, I feel like they kind of okay, relax. Because I mean, we've been honest, LeBron kind of has that type of pull. So I mean, but yeah, that's just how I feel about it. I feel like you can heckle, but just say things that you wouldn't mind being said to you. So I guess what you're saying is you wouldn't mind being called the B word, and I'm cool with that. I understand your point, but me personally, keep my stuff like literally on what I'm doing at the moment. So if I'm playing soccer, tell me I'm a bad soccer player. Don't call me a deadbeat dad. Don't call me a B word. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
So I just feel like that's how it should have been, and that's how heckling should be.
I hear
So
you.
like for instance, a player like Russ, I feel like he tends to, when they tell him he sucks, he try to jump in the crowd to cause a scene to get that person kicked out when all they said were you suck. So I feel like Russ, he gets a little sensitive, even dating back to last year in the playoffs when I think it was Rondo's brother, the barber there at the bubble, said something to him and he made a scene while somebody was shooting free throws. And I don't think LeBron's brother said anything that was like, you know, even up to the point of where like the B word is at on my list, but that's just me. But yeah,
Yeah, man. I understand why they was kicking her out. I mean, because it seemed like she was damn near about 3 steps away from the court. Now that's the biggest problem to me because it's like you're almost in the damn way of the game. So now that part is like, come on, lady, you're almost in the way from the game. Get out of the game. So I mean, I don't have a big deal with her getting kicked out.
I mean, yeah, I can see that. I can see where you're coming from. Um, but yeah, so for all my football fans out there, I know y'all excited for this. You know what I'm saying? So first off, I want to say, as you can see right here and right here, I am a Bears fan. Can you let the people know who you a fan of?
I like the Colts, man. I'm a Colts fan. We lost to the Bills this year. We almost beat them up. We almost beat them, but we'll be back next year. I don't know who our quarterback gonna be. Philip Rivers retired on us, which I wanted him to come back because I think he's a very underrated quarterback.
I actually wanted to tell you, like he gained some respect from me. I did not expect y'all to do as well as y'all did with him as y'all quarterback. I thought he'd been done, but he proved me wrong. But
Yeah.
maybe he think otherwise, even with them doing so well this past season.
So yeah.
But yeah, so you got a Bears fan right here, Colts fan. I don't even want to talk about Trubisky. I think our ownership and management already said he's done. So that's a big, I'm happy for that. Trubisky is trash to me. Probably the worst quarterback in the league. But we'll get on our favorites and like who we think suck and who we think good on probably the next episode. We'll probably come up with like a list of like receivers, quarterbacks, etc. But right now we just want to keep the main focus, which everybody pretty sure is excited for, the Super Bowl. So the Bears are my favorite team, but I do feel as if Tom Brady is the GOAT, but Patrick Mahomes is the current best quarterback in the league. I have a brain, I have eyes, so I see these things. Hasn't been anybody to come in the league and take over like he's done. He's kind of like the Steph Curry of the NFL with the way the league is turning towards a throwing league. It was more like more run heavy. And I think with Patrick Mahomes doing no looks and sidearms, I think it's becoming a more pass heavy league. Like Allen from the Bills, he got a good arm and et cetera, et cetera. But we're gonna do our predictions. And I'm gonna be completely honest. You never bet against the GOAT, but I will say with me, being a realist, I think the Chiefs will win, but I want Tom Brady to win. But I think the Chiefs are gonna pull this one out.
Um, I don't know. I'm just gonna go with Mahomes because he's the best quarterback. He's one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen in my life. So I'm gonna go with Mahomes. But I seen something about their offensive line with the COVID and with Sammy Watkins might not play. I mean, obviously you still got Hardman, you still got Kelsey, you still got Hill. So obviously they have other targets. But Sammy Watkins not playing, that does mean something. Um, but my prediction is I'll just say I think it's gonna be a high scoring game. I'm thinking about 38-35. Like I said, 38-35. I'm going with the Chiefs, but I kind of think that Patrick Mahomes is going to be running for his life. They're saying that due to COVID, the Chiefs might be missing a couple offensive linemen,
I've seen that.
and the Buccaneers, their defensive line is good. So you know what that means. Mahomes, you might be running. So it doesn't really matter if you're the best quarterback ever, but you don't have time to throw the ball. You have to have time to throw the ball. And I think people are going to downplay the lineman situation, which I don't know yet. I don't know yet if they're going to be missing any offensive linemen, but it's looking like it might because COVID, they're not going to go out there with COVID symptoms, I don't think. So I'm worried because that defensive line for the Buccaneers with Tampa Bay, you got Ndamukong Suh. I remember him when he played in college. I remember him, Heisman candidate. Then you got Jason Pierre-Paul. I remember him when he played for the Giants. I remember. Then you got Vita Vea in the middle. That's who you got. And I'm just looking at the time. You got Antoine Winfield Jr.
I hope he back though, because he didn't play last game against Aaron Rodgers and them and the Packers.
That matters. Then you got Levante David over there.
Woo.
You got Shaquille Barrett for Tampa Bay. You got Devin White over there. So they might get pressure on Patrick Mahomes. And I don't think the Chiefs are really going to be able to run the ball against them at all. So I feel like it'll be a close game, but I'm just going to go with Patrick Mahomes because he's better. He's better than Brady. And I feel like he's going to figure it out. I feel like he's just going to figure it out.
Well, like I said, I'm torn. I want Tom Brady to win, but like I said, with me being a realist and seeing, I mean, this is the last year's champion, so I think they can do it. But yeah, you made some pretty great points. If their defense can do what they did to Aaron and the Packers last week, I think it'll be another easy win for Brady if they put pressure on. I mean, well, I won't say easy because, like you said, I think Pat Mahomes is going to find a way to figure some things out. But when it's coming at you like that, when Shaq Barrett coming at you like that, Devin White, all them boys, and putting pressure on the receivers in two and getting picks, it's going to be hard for you to figure it out. So I hope they can, so Brady can get 7 and say he did it without Belichick. I mean, he already got bragging rights. The Patriots didn't even make the goddamn Super Bowl, so that should go to tell you right there. But anyway, I hope he can you know what I'm saying. I hope he can get this one ring without Belichick just to say, just so he can look at everybody that thinks he's a system player and say, hey, I'm not a system player. Even though, like I said, me personally, I feel like he's already done enough to say, like, I'm not a system player. He went to a brand new team, new teammates, new coach, new everything, and they're in the Super Bowl. And they've beaten, I don't want people to play this off. I mean, obviously, they don't get no credit for the Redskins, but they've beaten 2 quarterbacks that some people in this world consider to be the greatest of all time. I don't care how you want to chop it up. Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers. And if he beats Pat Mahomes, I feel like his legacy is cemented. But I feel like I'm kind of getting off track. But yeah, I feel like the Chiefs will win, but I'm not. I wouldn't bet any money on the Chiefs winning just because I'm not betting against Brady. But Kenny, do you feel like there can be other quarterbacks that could have went and took the Buccaneers to this same position?
Yeah, absolutely believe that. With the weapons that Tom Brady has, I feel like I can put other quarterbacks into that system, and they
Such
would be.
as who?
I mean, what? Let me explain what I'm saying. I feel
Okay.
like what Tom Brady is doing, I don't feel like it's the hardest thing in the world. You got Ronald Jones, I think that's his name, good running back.
Rojo,
Leonard,
yeah.
yep, Leonard Fournette, another good running back. Chris Godwin, Scotty Miller, Antonio Brown, which he was hurt last playoff game, but you've still had him. He's helped, and you got Evans, and he has a good offensive line. If you actually watch the Bucks play, Brady has just about all day to throw the ball. So Brady has a good running game. He has a good offensive line, and he has a good receiving core. Don't you think? At least good, right? I don't know if you want to say great, but at least good.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking at it, and which I told you before, I think between 10 to 15 quarterbacks could take his spot and win. I'm gonna change that a little bit. I don't know. I don't know about 15, but I'm gonna change that. I do think there is some quarterbacks that could take Brady's spot and still make it to the Super Bowl. I mean, obviously Patrick Mahomes. That's obvious.
Hold
He
on,
can
hold on, hold
go.
on. My bad, bro. Hold that thought. Let me get my son some water. I'll be right back.
All right, bet.
Okay. So you said you got Patrick Mahomes going in there and being able to do what Brady did. Okay.
Yeah. So if you guys are trying to figure out what we're going over quarterbacks that could take Brady's spot and pretty much do the same thing. Like I said,
Take the
Patrick.
Bucks to the Super Bowl for those who still kind of lost. But go ahead.
Right. Patrick Mahomes. You know, um, I forgot all about Justin Herbert. I mean, if you actually do your research on him, if you do your research on him, if you do your research on Justin
Oh,
Herbert, the
oh.
rookie, he's very good. He's very good. He's a very good quarterback. Some people compare him to Aaron Rodgers. Some people do. So that's two. I think if you put Matt Ryan with all that talent over there, I feel like he could. I feel like he can get them to the Super Bowl with the talent that he has around him. So that's three. Kyler Murray is four. I feel like if you give Kyler Murray all those targets, I feel like he would be able to get them to the Super Bowl with the defense that they have. Um, Watson from the Houston Texans, I feel like he could get them to the Super Bowl with that talent that they have. So that's five. Josh Allen is six. I feel like Josh Allen could get them in. Who else do we got? Aaron Rodgers is seven. Aaron Rodgers is seven. So I'll stay with that. And you're lucky Joe Burrow is hurt. You're lucky Joe Burrow is hurt. But I won't even say him for now. But I feel like Brady has a great team around him, and he doesn't have to do too much. Because for somebody like Mahomes, he's gonna have to pass the ball to win. He's not going to be able to just hand it to his running backs and they just run all over the field because I just feel like Brady has an easy route to the Super Bowl. That's how I feel.
So I get okay. The Saints, Packers, easy. Okay. All right. Um. First off, I want
Saints.
to say
Hold on. He beat first off, let's go over how Brady got to the Super Bowl. He beat the Washington Redskins
And
off.
before you say anything, I want to say, is it his fault that that whole division is trash? But go ahead.
No, it's not Brady's fault. But when I say I think Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert and
All
Kyler
those
Murray,
people you said, they can, yeah, they can probably beat the Redskins. After that, it's championship DNA time, and that's what I want to get to. But I'm gonna let you finish. Go ahead, so I can get my spill out.
so like Brady, the Buccaneers, they beat the first round, they beat the Washington Redskins.
The
They
Washington football team, yeah.
the Washington football team. Great correction. Thank you. They beat them. Their quarterback, what's his name? Taylor Heineke. Probably
OD,
said that wrong, but I don't care. Quarterback from ODU. That's who they beat.
who
Then
actually
they
played really well.
he did play pretty well, but we understand what time it is. So then So then they played the New Orleans Saints, which Drew Brees is on his last leg. He's about to retire. Is Drew Brees about to retire?
You just said you don't think Phillip Rivers should retire. So what are you saying? Which one is it?
I'm saying Drew Brees is about to retire for a reason. So pretty much they beat a young football team that shouldn't even have made the playoffs. They beat the Saints. Drew Brees is on his last leg, and they beat Aaron Rodgers, arguably one of the best quarterbacks ever, which he gets props on. They get props on that. But to be honest, if the coach would have went for it on that fourth down call, they probably would have lost that game. Or if Aaron Rodgers would have just scrambled for the touchdown. But ifs don't count. Ifs don't count. So you go ahead. You go ahead and go.
Okay. So first off, I want to reiterate, it's not Brady's fault that the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Redskins, and the Giants are trash. That's not his fault. Secondly, I want to say, okay, you want to talk about Drew Brees, but you're gonna play off Taysom Hill, which I don't even think played, but he's a pretty good player. You're going to play off Alvin Kamara. You're going to play off Cameron Jordan. You're going to play off Michael Thomas. You're going to play off Marshawn Lattimore. I guess none of these players played that game when Brady went against them, but that's okay. Secondly, are we going to just discredit? You want to talk about how they should have won or went forward or all that? Are you going to talk about the 3 and outs that the defense were getting, the pass to Scotty Miller before halftime? The extended plays, the multiple third down conversions that the Bucs got. Who threw those, by the way? Oh yeah, that was the GOAT. I feel like you need to be drug tested for saying Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray, Deshaun Watson, and anybody else you name that has never been under the big spotlight. Because first off, champion DNA, that's a real thing. Being in that position, knowing what to do, knowing how to calm your nerves, that's a real thing. So for you to say that those players could have been in Brady's position, who's been to, this is his 10th Super Bowl and he's won 6. For you to say those players can come in and do what Brady has done, you are out of your goddamn mind. Brady is a winner. It is in his stats. It is in everything you want to look at. We're not even just talking about rings, which is a team accomplishment, by the way. And is it his fault? Is he... What should he be an idiot and go join the goddamn Chargers and try to win? No, I'm gonna go join talent who I know can help me. And I don't think anybody on his team leads in a stat category. No wide receiver, no running back. I don't think any. What was Leonard Fournette doing last year?
Not much.
So I just don't get it. But it's the Brady effect. So I understand. You know what I'm saying? You're not a Brady like person. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that. But to say that these guys will go in and do what Brady has done, you are out of your mind, bud. That's just ridiculous. And at first, when we talked about this off the pod, and you said Kyler and Deshaun, I'm kind of like, they're not terrible, but it's still Brady. But now that you said Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert,
those are good quarterbacks. Joe Burrow's a good quarterback. You laughing? I seen what he did at LSU. He's a good quarterback.
Thanks. I'm gonna just throw it up to Justin Jefferson every game. Bro, I don't even know what to say to you right now, man.
Time out. So how many quarterbacks in the NFL do you think could take Brady's spot and get them to the Super Bowl?
2.
So just Rodgers and Mahomes?
Yes.
So you don't think Russell Wilson could get this team to the Super Bowl? Are you serious?
Okay, those are 2 off the top of my head. So if you look at it, then Russ and Drew Brees, well, not this Drew Brees, no. But like a prime Drew Brees, that's probably about it. Yeah, so Drew, and I would say Drew on a good day, and Russ probably, yeah, because I actually like Russell Wilson, and he adds more to the game. He can throw, obviously, and he's a runner as well. So that'll add another addition to the offense. So yeah, that wouldn't be bad. But for you to say those other guys, that's just blasphemous, bro.
So you're giving me 4 quarterbacks, not to cut you off, that could take Brady's spot. You're giving me 4.
Well, even when I say that, I'm not even saying that they could do what he had done. I mean, because if you look at it, Russ had a good team. So why aren't you here anyway? You know, but so I'm not even giving these guys that. I'm just saying if I had to, like, if I literally somebody told me like you literally have to choose some people, yeah, they would probably be my people. But I don't think I don't know if anybody could do it because if you think about it, bro, they're all in different positions. So Pat, and I'm not like I just stated, Pat is the best quarterback in the league. I'm just making an example. Who's to say he wouldn't be trash without Kelsey and Hill? You know what I'm saying? He don't have no speedsters over there. Scotty Miller, thank you. He's not. You're not Tyreek Hill, bro. I'm sorry to break it to you. So I mean, who's to say that he would be? You know what I'm saying? And then Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he's just that's one I will give you because he's going to be great. Like he's just a great quarterback. Russ. I mean, he got some. He got DK and the other small guy. Yeah. So it's like, what are you doing? And then who was the fourth guy? I said Drew. That one's I'm even shaky about saying. So I honestly don't know, bro. But it's blasphemous for you to just say that they would definitely be in his position. That's crazy.
I'm not saying definitely, but I believe it. When I look at Tom Brady, when he hikes the ball, I'm not seeing too much pressure on him. And if you're not getting pressure on the quarterback, I believe if you were to put Joe Burrow in there, he can make the passes that Tom Brady's making. I honestly believe Joe Burrow can make the passes because if you watch the Buccaneers, like I'm saying, Tom Brady's getting protected. He's not too mobile,
But
which he
do you think he can be composed in those late game situations versus the Packers to secure that game like Tom though? See, it's more to it than just passing. And that's all I'm saying. That's why I think the DNA comes in that championship. I've been here before. It comes from, and college football title is a little different from a Super Bowl.
I get what you're saying. NCAA is definitely different than the NFL. It's difference between college and pro. So I understand that, but I also understand that Joe Burrow, I mean, I'm just looking at the passes that Tom Brady made, like that pass to Scotty Miller about 60 yards. You mean to tell me you don't think Joe Burrow could have got that? You don't think Joe Burrow could have throw that ball? You don't think he could throw that?
That's not, but see, you're looking at it from, I'm not saying Brady is the most talented thrower of the football. I'll give that to Pat Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers and let them fight for that. I'm not saying that, but to even know to look that way or find that play, like you think that was you think they even would have let Joe Burrow? Because now that it was like 4 seconds left before the half, and I think they were in field goal range. Do you think the coach would have even let Joe be in that position?
Matter, they weren't in field goal range.
I thought they were inching close. I think he could have made it. Like I think
It,
it was a far one, but I think he could have made it. But
I
that's
mean,
neither there. Like what I'm saying is they could have nailed it. Do you think they would have even let any of these quarterbacks that you named be in that position to do that? You think Bruce Arians literally said, "I let Tom coach." No other player is getting that leash that Tom Brady has.
I mean, that's a good point. Obviously, you're not going to give Joe Burrow a rookie as much as privileges as Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying?
And
Resume.
like, and I just, I mean, but don't get me wrong, and I agree with you, Joe Burrow. I actually, and I'm gonna sit here and say it, and I'm gonna say I ate my words. I said I don't think he's gonna be as good in the NFL because it's a little different when you just throwing it up to just Jefferson every game and him making plays for you. But even though they were losing, he showed me a lot of promise, and I was hurt when he went down for the season. But I think he's gonna have a good career.
Me
But
too.
I,
Me too.
I, I can't say he could be in Tom Brady's position. I would be a fool.
I feel you. I feel you. I mean, I feel you. I'm ready to see the Super Bowl this weekend. I mean, to me, Brady has a great team around him, defensive linemen, good receivers. I'm not sure if Antonio Brown's playing, and Patrick Mahomes, you got the best tight end, you got the fastest receiver. So I'm willing to see what he's gonna do. To me, Brady, if you're what these people think you are, you should win this game. You're the GOAT. You're the GOAT to these people. So win the game. Win the game.
Don't count them out. Like I said, and when I say I'm being a realist, I'm not saying it's obvious that the Chiefs will win. I just think they're favored for a reason. So I'm gonna go with the favorite. Well, I'm not going for them, but I'm gonna say like I'm saying that for the favorite team. But I think it's about 50-50 to me.
I agree. I believe that it's 50-50 too. But I'm looking at, I don't know if Antonio Brown's is winning, but as we just seen, they just won without him.
Right.
So so they just won without him. So what I'm to me, the teams are they both have good teams. They both have very good teams.
Right.
So the quarterback, you touch the ball every play. So let's see who has the bigger effect on a game. And I'm willing to see, because sometimes when you're playing, you can say, well, this quarterback has a better team, so that's why they won. If Mahomes win, I'm not giving Brady the excuse that the Chiefs were better. No, I'm not giving you that, because you have a lot of talent around you. You're the GOAT. You got 6 rings. You're going for your 7th. Win the game.
I
Win the
mean, he won't get
game.
an excuse from me either. Like
Yeah.
even if AB is out, because like you just stated, he beat a hard team without AB, so he won't get an excuse from me either. Like I said, they're the favorite team. That's why I said that. But yeah, it's pretty 50-50 to me. He's the GOAT versus the mini GOAT, the up and coming GOAT, with both great teams. And honestly, I would say the Bucks have the edge on defense.
You think the Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I agree that the Bucks have a better defense for sure, because that D line is Jason Pierre-Paul, Vita Vea, Ndamukong Suh. Their whole defensive line is savages. And the Chiefs, they got Chris Jones or whatever. They got Tyrann Mathieu in the secondary, but I would definitely say the Bucks defense is better. So um this is pretty much an even. Brady and Mahomes, they have just about an even supporting cast.
Yeah.
Win the game. Mahomes, if you're better than Brady, which I already know you're better than him, but win the game. Even though he has a better D line than you and better linebackers, Levante David, Barrett, and Devin White, win the game. You're the quarterback. We say you're the mini GOAT. You're the best, one of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen. Win the game. And the same goes to you, Brady. I don't want to hear no excuses. Le'Veon Bell, he's not playing or whatever. He might not play. Antonio Brown might not play. I don't want to hear it. Whoever loses, take it. Take it. That's how I
And
feel.
that's gonna wrap it up for the 27th episode of the Fourth Quarter Podcast, man. I agree with what you stated there at the end. That was fun, man. Our first NFL, integration with the NBA, man. I hope y'all like it. Let us know what y'all think. Please tell me in the comments how big of a fool this man is for what he said about 10 to 15 quarter or whatever he said can take Brady's place. Please let me know down below, man. Make sure, like I tell y'all all the time, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and share the video, because this is the best basketball and football podcast on YouTube. But we're gonna check y'all next episode.